Welcome to Unbreakable Latina. Hi guys, welcome back to Unbreakable Latina. This is your host Melina. I have my friend Angela back on the podcast. Welcome back, Angela.
Hey y'all, I'm back.
She's back. She's better than ever. So how was Mexico, Angela? Tell us about your trip. Well, not trip. You were living there.
Well, I was there for a long time. I'm back in the States right now, but last time I was on here, my whole self-love journey, I was ready to leave. I already put all my business out on the air, but it was the best decision that I've made. I was gone for 4 months. I was not working and I was just focusing on myself. I really didn't know anyone in Mexico City. And I just fell in love with the city. Like, the people are so lovely, friendly. There's a lot, like, I learned a lot about my culture. I feel like I got more in touch with like myself, my family, my roots, and like when I was there, like, I as you know, I was a workaholic. I needed a break. I was in a relationship that was like very toxic. And me being like, I'm an only child and I'm a daughter, right? I had so much responsibility for my family that this was like the first time in my life where I didn't have to worry about anybody but myself. And that was amazing. When I was there, I'm second generation on my dad's side and I'm fifth generation on my mom's side. So like my Spanish has never been the best. So I went to school. Like, I took Spanish class for a month. I took a few other classes when I was there and I basically explored, and I dated a little bit too, but mainly focused on myself. Like, I felt myself like not needing to date. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this time and be a better me. And that's what I did.
I'm so proud of you. I remember you being so nervous to go over there, and when I went to visit you, it was like a different Angela. It was like positive, like you could just see the happiness in your face, and leaving that stressful job, I think, was one of the best things you ever did.
I had to. Like, I work in tech and that job was so stressful. Like, my hair was falling out. Like, I felt like I was giving and not focusing on myself. And thanks for noticing that change. When you saw me, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was literally like, who is she? Like, I mean, it was Angela, but it was like Angela 2.0. And I was so happy because I knew how scared she was of the fear of the unknown. I think that was your biggest fear, right? Like, just knowing, like, I'm going to quit. I don't have a plan. My plan is just to go to Mexico, and that's it.
Right. I'm a girl who always has a plan. I got a plan A, B, C, D, and not having one. I think my advice to people who like are struggling with burnout or just like being emotionally exhausted is like, and I know this is easier said than done, is just really take a step back, analyze what you're lacking. You're like, I need this. How am I going to get there? And figure it out. It's possible.
What was your favorite part of that whole experience?
I'm going to be honest. So my family's from Jalisco, and Mexico City, right? It's just a whole metropolis in itself. And like the accent, like my Spanish being poor, like the first few weeks of being alone there, I felt very isolated. And that was myself. I was uncomfortable, right? I was not around my normal surroundings or my language or whatever, right? And I learned how to become self-sufficient. And after like 6 weeks of being there, I felt comfortable. I started like, meeting new people, friends. And my biggest takeaway is, take yourself out of your normal environment, which you're comfortable in, and put yourself somewhere else, because that's how we all grow. And I definitely saw myself and felt myself growing, and I could have never done that if I would have stayed in Moreno Valley.
Hey, don't hate on the IE. We have a lot of IE listeners. I live in the IE, but I get it.
I'm from here, but you got to leave sometimes to make you appreciate and understand who you are and who you want to be.
So today we got together and we have been talking about just like our self-love journey and how dating has really not been it for us. Like, we have been so busy focusing on ourselves. Like, yeah, we've tried, but our self-love journey has just been so good for us because now we're so good on being alone.
Like when I came back, I went on a date. I met this guy before I left, and he was in my DMs, and he was like, I need to take you out right now, right? And so I went on the date, and I could tell, like, we just didn't have enough in common, right? And I enjoyed myself, but, like, I could see this, I don't know, I felt like whatevs. And then he invited me on a second date, and I said yes, right? But then I started really thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to waste his time, and I don't want to waste my time. And if I'm already feeling like this, I'm going to call it, say a no. And I noticed that with the self-love, like, I have more boundaries, and I say no. I don't have to say yes to everything, And that would have never, like, I don't know how to explain it.
It's because you're like pickier with who you spend your time with.
You know what you want, and you know what you don't want. And I think, like, spending time by yourself,
Well, you know yourself better, so then that's why you know what you dislike, you know what you like, and you're very, very picky about where you spend your time and how you spend your time and who you're spending your time with.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, no, 100%. Like, the more time you spend with yourself, like, it's good to have a balance, but you don't have all those influences of other people, like, oh, you like that, or oh, why are you doing that? Like, it's just you, and you're like, I like this, I want to do this. So it was that one guy, right? And so another guy that I went to college with, right when I came back, he was in my DMs, right?
That's the new way of dating now, sliding in the DMs. Okay, can we talk about, like, it works. Like, the opportunity's there. If I post a fire selfie, like, take me out on a date. Don't just send me a flame. Like, that's the way the guys hit on you now, sending flames.
Right? I'm gonna put this flame out. Okay, so I went on. This guy was in my DMs. I met him in college, and I probably said, like, one thing to him, right? But, when you're in college, what was, like, 10 years ago? I don't remember. He was always just one of my Instagram friends. Like, we never even talked, and so he's been in my DMs, right? And he has a child, and you already know how I feel about that in the last story. But, I was like, I'm going to give this guy a shot. He seems really nice, and he was like, let's go on a date tomorrow. And I was like, okay, I work. So I actually have plans. I think I wasn't working at that time. And he's like, well, I work on the weekend, so maybe we can make, something during the week. So I was like, this was, I think, a Tuesday. And I was like, well, what about Thursday, right? And he's like, oh, I live in LA. I said, well, I live in the IE, so if you're willing to meet halfway, let me know. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm right. We're texting, trying to figure something out. And he's like, well, I really want to see the game tomorrow. Would you be willing to go to this bar? And I was like, well, that's in the Arts District. I'm not in LA. And I told him, I'm not gonna drive over there. I really don't want to do that. And he didn't even respond. He's like, well, I wouldn't want to make you drive all the way out here. And I said, thank you. Nothing, right? I'm trying to make plans with him, and nothing. So, 2 days later, y'all, 2 days later, he messages me, and he's like, hey, I still want to go on that date. And I just ignored him, right? I'm showing Melina my DMs right now. And this was in October, right? He's literally in my DMs every day. He's crying. He's sending these emojis, and he's like, I'm sorry. I had these plans. Like, no, you didn't. You just didn't think that, I had boundaries. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't do that on the first try. It's like you just ghost someone.
Because the plans weren't convenient for him.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell him about what happened to me this weekend.
Oh my God, tell them.
So I'm on Hinge again, and I had matched with this guy. His profile, like, I was like, not my usual type. He's 31, cool, whatever. And we kept talking, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of enjoying this conversation. So he asked me if it's cool if I give him my phone number and we could text, and I'm like, yeah, sure. But before that, I did ask, do you have an Instagram? And I just wanted to see if he had an Instagram just to make sure he was real.
Right, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, because he didn't have, like, that check mark. You know how now Hinge verifies you?
Do you have that check mark?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have to buy that?
No, I think you have to update your app. Maybe you haven't updated your app. But anyways, it verifies you, like, facial recognition, which makes you feel a little safer. So he didn't have that, and I wasn't going to be like, hey, you better verify yourself.
Better check that.
But I asked him for his Instagram. He gave it to me. It seemed legit. I didn't add him because I don't like adding people. But then I gave him my phone number, and he texted me, and he's like, hey, where do you live? And I told him where I live, and he lived like 20 minutes away, and he goes, oh, perfect, convenient. And as soon as he said that, like, something in me was like, this guy's younger than 31. Like, so I did my Google research, And I typed in his phone number into this website that I type phone numbers into, where I find your date of birth, location, your mom's name, your dad's name. I know, call me a psycho, but I'd rather be aware than a pendeja, you know? So I type it in. He's 25. I mean, it made sense because the comment, it's convenient. Who says that? Nobody says that.
Babies.
And I was like, convenient for what? He's all for dates, of course. But I asked him, I was like, hey, how old are you? He's like, oh, this is the fun part. And I'm like, oh, so he's been lying. And he's like, I'm 25. I was like, 25? And I'm like, why does your profile say 31? Oh, it's because I like older women. I'm like, just because you like older women doesn't mean you have to lie about your age. And like starting off the conversation already by lying, like, what else are you gonna lie about?
You know, like red flag right away.
Be aware, girls and guys out there, because girls do that too.
I mean, at the end of the day, right, when you first meet somebody, like, you want to start off being truthful, like, be real, because
Be fucking for real.
yeah, because like, you know, that just looks bad on you, even if regardless of why you're lying, like, if it's because of something personal or whatever age, like that guy, right, he's like, oh, like older woman, it's like, okay, well, now I don't trust you, what else are you lying about? Right.
So yeah, dating has been wonderful. So we haven't really been focusing too much on that. We've been focusing more on spending time on our own and just like talking to each other and checking in with each other.
Definitely checking in, and like between, like, you know, Christmas time, these seasons here, like, you know, I've been talking to a lot of my friends, and I was telling Melina, I'm like, you know, Melina, we are not the only ones experiencing this hard life out here dating. Like, it is so common, everyone is doing it, and I'm like, we need to self-love more.
Yeah, because a lot of people have been sharing that it's just not the same. I think a lot of our problems is with everything being at the palm of your hands. You could download an app and match with 5 people and have 5 conversations at one time. People don't work as hard, and like you lose interest fast. And I count myself included in that, because sometimes I'm like, oh, this conversation sucks, like I'll just talk to the next guy. I do want to date, but I'm more okay with just spending time by myself. So I don't know how you feel.
I think, I mean, right now is holidays, right? Like, I came back in October, I started working this new job, and I've just been really focused on that. But, you know, it gets dark at 4 p.m. Your girl wakes up super early, and like, it's just the holidays. And, you know, I just told myself that I am just going to focus on myself. And in 2023, I'm going to start dating again, and y'all are going to hear these stories. But right now is the time to just really focus on myself, ourselves,
And the mindset that you're going to have for next year.
what is our life gonna look like in 2023?
And I used to not believe in like manifesting stuff and doing that, but like the more that I've done the podcast and just connected with others, like it's true. You could manifest anything you want. So today we got together and we did some vision boarding, and I've never done that. Angela's been a pro at it. So tell us, Angela, how did you get started?
So I've been doing this for like, I don't know, when my mid-20s. Like, I'm a visual learner. When I see something, I do it, right? If it's not there, I truly believe in out of sight, out of mind. Like, we can talk all day, right? Tell people I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But if you don't put it into action, you know, those are just words. So my best friend and I, my college best friend, she and I every year would get together around New Year's, and we'd just get in our rooms and basically get our magazines and like vision board. And I've manifested things from like interning at the White House, NBC, like anything. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I do it. And my dad always taught me, like growing up, like, you are an architect of your life. Things don't just happen, you make them happen. So today Melina came over. We got our, what is this called? Canva?
We used Canva because, you know, we don't have time to be cutting stuff and like
Save a tree.
saving trees. So Canva was very easy. We use Pinterest and Canva. There's even templates that you can download on Canva and just whatever you want to do. So do you want to share what's on your vision board?
Yeah, so like, so I'm 31 years old, and I'm very much in my life where like I have a good job right now, and I think the next chapter for me is like, I really want to save for a house. Like, right now I'm living with my parents, and my home situation has always been like renting, right? I'm like, oh my God. And my mom's like, you need a man, a partner. I'm like, that'd be easy, but I can't plan on having that person if that, you know, it can't be contingent. So my board has my dream house. I really need to work on mental health, and actually physical health. So like after work, I work at home, so I need to do like Pilates or something. I need some extracurricular activity to make me get those endorphins. And also on my board is Mexico City. I'm going back. And right now figuring out how I can remote work. There's a lot of remote workers out there, and I think that working over there would be a really cool experience, not just being stuck in a room all day. And my last one, I have a board of just like outfits because your girl needs help and Melina's a fashionista. So I like took a step back and I was like, my friend is like a great dresser. I'm like, I have all the resources at my hands. So that's what my 2023 vision is. What about yours, Melina?
So my vision board has two people with like passports, because I'm envisioning a bae that's going to travel with me. And then I also put one with camera for content creation. I want to level up my content creation game. I want to add more color to my wardrobe because all I do is wear black, beige, and white. I have a new car because I will buy a new car next year. I put that I'm going to have an event for all the listeners to go that I've been talking about it for so long. I want to date myself more. I do it a lot by like just being home alone and like, getting Netflix on and buying myself a pizza or whatever. I want to go to like a coffee shop or like bars or have lunch by myself and just like be more comfortable being alone. I am comfortable, but I want to get more comfortable to the point where I just get up and go. I want to get my own podcast studio, and I have been saving for a house for quite a while now. I think it's time. Hopefully this year it's going to happen where the market is better. Let's hope. Cross your fingers, y'all. I want to get a routine, like a better routine with working out and eating healthy, because like most of us, and some of you are very good about like having a good balance with working out and eating healthy, but I go through phases. Like right now, I've been eating like shit. I'll be honest with you guys. Every week, every day at work, there's cookies, there's tamales, there's everything, and everybody keeps treating me to coffee, and like I just been going at it. I no shame in my game. I still been going to the gym, and yeah, that's about it.
I mean, those are pretty good ones. I mean, right now we're all gaining weight.
Yeah, ahorita estamos in bulking season because we're gonna get a fat ass.
I better. I don't have one right now.
I hope this encourages you guys to start your vision boarding. It doesn't take a long time. We took a long time porque estamos chismeando.
But it's fun. Like, and especially when you do it when it's like, for example, like this fashionista stuff, like these outfits. Like my friend tells me, she's like, you have a uniform. You wear yoga pants and Fabletics and Nikes, and I'm like, damn, yeah, that's me. And then like putting together these outfits with Melina, right? These pictures, I'm like, these are just like super simple.
I was telling her it's all about getting like plain colors. Like don't get a lot of stuff with patterns. Like that's what I do. Like just a bunch of plain like tops, and you can mix match. That's what I do for work too, since like office environment I have to wear like pencil skirts. I have a blue and a black one, and dresses like plain colors, match them with different blazers. So you just have to like dressing up just elevates your confidence so much, and I feel like people respect you more.
They do. It's the image you give others. I think I've also had a hard time is because I work from home now, right? And so like, before the pandemic, I'd go in the office every day, and then like now I'm at home all the time. So like I've been pretty relaxed. I'm always in yoga gym wear. And when I first started working from home, like, I'm into makeup, right? I stopped putting makeup on because I'm like, oh, why? But then, like,
no one's gonna see me.
Right. And then, like, your attitude changes. You become, like, I felt ugly. Like, I felt, like, super laxed and whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm still working. I need to, like, look nice.
That's one thing that my mom, I've talked about it before, has always taught me, because my grandma was also the same way, where she would get up and, like, put a little makeup on. It doesn't have to be, like, glamorous. Just a little bit of, like, blush and, like, mascara, a little lipstick. It makes such a big difference.
I have a story. So, like, my mom, my grandma, like, both of them are very, like, very careful in their appearance. Like, they love to take care of themselves. But anyway, ever since this happened to me, I always go out in public with makeup on. So, when I was in middle school, I had a crush on this guy. Who knows if you listen? Keikoa. I had this crush on this guy named Keikoa. Anyway, middle school. So, I'm in college, right? This is, like, years later. And your girl, I looked horrible. I think I went to a party the night before, and I had a final that day or something, right? And then I'm at the student store, and then someone goes, Angela? And it's Keikoa. And I think I didn't, I was wearing on the, I was just, party. Oh my God, I looked so bad, right? And I was so embarrassed. And I was like, oh my God, I hadn't seen him since then. Okay, so that happened to me. A couple months later, I go to Michael's. And I didn't even do my mustache. I was just all like not cute. No,
wait, you didn't do your mustache?
No, we have like our eyebrows, like nothing, right? I was looking really bad, and I needed to buy something for like my sorority. Like we were having like some event. Anyway, go to Michael's and I ask for help, and who helps me? Keikoa.
Oh my God,
Angela! And I was like, oh my God! And so I go home, and I was like, Mom, right? Okay, so you think I learned the second time, right?
There's more.
There's more. And then so like maybe like 6 months later, I'm at school. I look beat up. It was rough. And I'm sitting there. This dude comes out. Angela? And I'm like, I don't even see you. I only see you these three. I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And I think I had like makeup smudge or whatever, right? And after those 3 times,
you learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson. Keiko, if you're listening, I'm wearing makeup right now. I know you're married and have a child.
So do your vision boards and manifest your next year. Put yourself first. Leave the crusty dusties in 2022. I'm gonna tell him what I did to you today. So today she confessed that she unblocked somebody that should be blocked.
My phone's been so dry, y'all.
Drier than the Sahara Desert, but it's okay. I like the desert sometimes. How do you feel about blocking, first of all?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, blocking. Okay, I have to really not like you to block you. And so I blocked my man from episode 2 because, X-Man. Yes, X-Man, because I don't want him to know where I'm at. Besides that, I haven't blocked anyone. I have this kind of ego thing where, like,
I want them to see.
I will delete them, so I'm not following them, but I'll let them follow me.
Why?
I don't know. Anybody else do that, please?
I used to be like that. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, oh, I want you to know that I'm doing better without you.
Would you delete them? You wouldn't look at them?
Like, I would like unfollow them, but I wanted them to know that my life is still good. But why? There's no fucking reason why. Yeah, but what do you get out of it? Nothing, except some crusty dusty looking at you and being like, oh, she's still there. She doesn't care if I still watch her stuff. For me, like, you control who's in your space. And if I don't want to see your face, I'm going to block you. And I'm the blocking queen. Like, you guys should see my phone list. It's like, I give everybody a funny name that I remember them by. Like bad breath. So no, let's not. Yeah, I block everybody, and it's to protect my peace, because I don't want you don't get to know what I'm doing. You're gonna wonder if I'm suffering or if I'm having the greatest time. Like, I'm not gonna allow anybody in 2023 for sure. Like, this year I think was the year that I was more like, no, I don't like you, block you. And it's done such good things for me because I don't care anymore. Like, I don't know. I just out of sight, out of mind.
I'm learning to be like that.
Yeah, she unblocked somebody today, and I was like, excuse me, get on your phone right now. So let's check in on our friends and make sure that their ex-boyfriends are still blocked, that their ex-flings are still blocked. Because we don't need, if the person it wasn't successful in 2022 and you've been trying to make it work, it's not gonna work. If there's a crusty dusty in your DMs, block them. Get the seat of it.
Yeah, when he does, like, I just did it, right? Because my phone is super dry. But then you're right. If he messages me, I'm gonna be like, ugh.
Audacity for him to message me, but why'd you unblock him?
Exactly.
Yeah, because then this person's gonna be like, oh, she wants me to talk to her. Like, she wants me back. Like, if anything, you're making them think that you want them. So since the holidays are coming, I have bad news for you guys. I am definitely going to take a 2-week break. I'll be back in January. I really want to take time to spend time with my family.
I leave to Mexico on Tuesday. It's back to Mexico City for 10 days. I'm taking my grandma. We're going for we're going to spend Christmas over there. We're a small family, but we'll be over there for 10 days. I'm really excited to go back, and, being there for so long, if you guys don't follow me, I started doing a lot of TikToks on it. It's called Chula Travels. And I think for 2023, which I didn't mention, is like, I want to do more content. Like, I did a lot of cool things.
You do.
Like, we went to Gruta. Like, I like, if when Melina came to visit, I did only a few things with her. I showed her, and like, I just like to adventure, and so I really want to document all my experiences. And yeah, you're gonna see a lot of good food.
I know, that's another thing that content creation, like, I want to get more into it. You have to make time for what you want, and that's one big lesson that I learned this year, is that you can achieve like anything you want. Be delusional as fuck.
Yeah.
And like, just put your mind to it. And what did your dad just say?
He told me, well, what my grandma said,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Tell him.
My Spanish isn't good. You say, if other people do it, why can't you?
Si otra gente lo hace, ¿por qué tú no lo puedes hacer? And I was like, you just inspired me right now, señor.
Right? It's true. Like, you see other people, and even though like your starting lines are not the same, the ending point is the same, right? We're gonna get to the same point, even though I have to stand like five lanes back, right? And Melina, we're gonna do it.
2023 is gonna be our year. I feel like 2022 was a year of like realizing what we want, what we don't want.
You know what? It's been a hard time. But also another big takeaway too is like how we were talking about self-love. But like the people that really do empower you, like your close circle, your friends, like really do pay attention on like who contributes to you. Because it is true. You are who you hang out with. Like sometimes if you see your people like going down a wrong path or like doing these things, like you're gonna start doing those things regardless of how you're like, no, I'm strong-minded, or no, I'm not gonna go. Like it's eventually gonna influence you, and sometimes it's just better off being alone. Like, you know who you are.
That was a big lesson this year. Not everyone's meant to be in your life forever. Sometimes they're just here for a chapter in your life. And it's okay to like outgrow friendships. It's okay to outgrow relationships. I think a lot of people realize like what they wanted during the pandemic, because spending so much time with like a loved one or a friend, you realize like, hey, like we've changed a lot.
And changing is good. For example, like I have a lot of friends. I have friends in like different areas, right? Like from high school, from college, from like my different areas of work. Like it's nice to be able to wear different hats, right? And if you feel like you're outgrowing someone, like that's okay. Like that happens. Like they're just a part of your life. Like you just go with the flow, and growing is good. As long as you're growing and not like going back,
Yeah, so leave the past in the past and prepare for 2023. It's going to be a good year. Set up your goals and have the life you want, because life's too short to live a life that you don't like.
Yeah, 2023, you're going to hear a lot more from us, and yeah, we're gonna make this year our pitch.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and Angela is definitely gonna be back. We're gonna try to make this a thing like every month. So
yeah, love it.
Talk to you guys soon. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Follow me at Unbreakable Latina on Instagram and TikTok, Latina Podcaster on Twitter. And Angela, where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok, chula_travels. That's where I'll be posting my videos, or on Instagram, Angela_Elaine, if you just want to like check me out.
Hope you guys have an amazing holiday, and I will talk to you guys next year. Bye. Bye.